Yeah, one way of dealing with it, if you've got a feel like that, come towards the bowler, mid on, mid off, up. You want to take them on downtown. Goes all along the ground, great wrist. That's what he does. Strong bottom hand, and the ability to roll that wrist at impact. Brilliant.
Long off being employed right now. It's interesting. Shubman Gill suggested this shot to Nitish Reddy, and he said, I don't mind it, but if it's too far out, I might top edge one, and there are a couple of fielders there. But then Shubman Gill soon after shows how it's done.
I have to reload. Maybe a change of bowling from Graves in when that opportunity comes around again. There's Gary Peer and Roston Chase himself, who haven't bowled so far today.
Yeah, it's become a bit stiff now, isn't it? In red ball cricket, test match cricket, early on, in the very same format, that kind of a delivery wouldn't be called a wide. But nowadays, with the plan like that, if you bowl that, you'll be called again. Nah, very similar. Called differently this time. 4-1-6 for 3.
Right, 4-1-6 for 3 in 108 overs. Ian Bishop is relieved from the twin attack of the Kartiks. Sorry for the next half hour, it's just Deep, Darren and me. Impressed with how Nitish Reddy's gone about it. Stroke of luck early on, but this is, I think, how the game comes most naturally to him.
Keep going, Warren. Keep going, Warren.
This is a good opportunity for him to get some game time. And works on two fronts. Obviously, the game time that we're talking about also. India looking to be more proactive.
This time there's a fielder there. Straight down his throat. He hit 2 before this, backed himself to hit a third. Warrican picks up a third. It's been a breezy innings, but it's over.
Well, he flirted with higher risks on that occasion, trying to hit against the turn, the ball pitching outside the off stump, so you're never in control as a batter. Length too full, you think, to execute perfectly. Jaden Seals making no mistake after Reddy was put down on 20, now falling short of a half century. He departs for 43, 416 now for 4.
So Dhruv Jurel comes into bat at the fall of Nitish Reddy's wicket. Breeze innings, as I said, 43 or 54 balls. And the question for the two experts in here, Deep and Darren, as we see Dhruv Jurel's numbers, very young still, just 10 innings, but an average of 47 is not to be scoffed at. that Nitish Reddy was given the opportunity. Has he done enough? Has he not?
I think he's done a good job. He's got some game time. He's played a few deliveries. And also, if the plan was to up the tempo a little bit, get some quick runs before you decide to declare, I think he's done a very good job. Ideally, yes, you would want him to get more runs, no two ways about it. And as far as job being done, message landed.
As things stand at the moment, Nitish Reddy's future is almost certainly as a batting all-rounder.
And that's the other thing, right? He's not on audition here. He's not on test. So obviously he's got the vote of confidence from the team management. So his place is kind of secured. So it wasn't like he had to get runs to cement his place.
It's a peculiar situation. I think his place is more secure because of the batting that Jadeja brings. Because Jadeja brings that batting, they can invest in Nitish Reddy. 4-1-6 for 4, a wicket maiden for Warwick. .416 for India, scoring at 3.8. There's another 20 odd minutes to go before tea and then for lunch. Then 120 minutes thereafter, so 140 minutes. If you assume you'll get about 35 overs, India should be cruising to 550 and beyond by then.
Just looking at Nitish's dismissal, hit a couple of sixes. If you look at the area where he was targeting, was down the ground, more towards mid-on, long on. But on the wicket one, I thought he was trying to go a little more square, more towards mid-wicket. That's where it gets a little more tricky. It's almost the same line, same length, but going long on with a straighter face. But then when he wants to go square right, the bat turn in his hand as well. That was hit hard. Straight to the fielder. But just try and see where he wanted to go with that shot. He wanted to go a little more mid-wicket-ish, and he kind of sliced it. That's the other thing. That tends to happen when you want to go square. Little less control over the bat face.
Other thing to notice in that was this really very minimal amount of dust that it kicked off the surface. Virtually none at all. It's a long time since I've seen a 7-2 field being used.
Not following enough domestic cricket. But I like this. This is what I was talking about yesterday. Having different plans when the batter is comfortable and set. Try different things. 7-2, not a bad ploy. Especially when batters want to hit the ball, get score, play those shots. Try and stay away. 7-2 feet, but obviously it's going to be different for the new batter.
I'd like to imagine that if you're setting a 7-2 field, it means you don't have too many other options to go to. And that you're maybe a touch run out of things to do. You're getting defensive with 7-2.
I know even DK mentioned it's negative. You've done that as well. I don't see it as a negative ploy. I just see it as a ploy. Any ploy to pick a wicket cannot be negative. And especially on a surface like this, which is still such a good one to bat on.
A century behind him, Dhruv Jurel.
Not afraid to use his variations. Justin Graves starts with a short ball to Jarrell. He's been enterprising with his approach to bowling. I reckon he's the one that is directing to a large extent the various approaches we've seen by the West Indies, more so of his bowling. That 7-2 field that you both spoke about. Now the adjustment for the new batter, again another change, extra cover, going to short mid-wicket. At the same time, there needs to be a certain amount of persistence with each plan. And just listen to that conversation about a 7-2 field. At times, captains can use that to create the right environment for wicket taking. So if you can contain run scoring, dry up run scoring from one end, it allows for you as a captain to attack from the other. So that is probably the mindset that the West Indians have, to contain Shubman Gill, a well set Shubman Gill, then create that false stroke that we saw from Reddy.
4-1-8 for 4. Tells you something about the strength of this Indian batting lineup, certainly in these conditions. There's a couple of people on their late morning stroll across the side screen. I always love it when it happens, because then they suddenly get startled and start running. Yeah, Dhruv Jurel has just come in 100 behind him. The two players still to bat, not so long ago, put on 203 runs and batted 55, almost what, 50 overs, over 50 overs in that partnership to save a game. So the depth of this Indian batting lineup, between 5, 6, 7 and 8, in the way it's structured at the moment, anybody could bat anywhere.
That is where Nitish also becomes very important with what he can do with the ball as well. So you've got a batting all-rounder, bowl seam up. Then you've got a couple of spin bowling all-round in Washington and Jadeja. And then you have 3 out-and-out bowlers. So you've got 6 bowling option, proper 6 bowling option. And then, like you mentioned, the batting is quite deep. Bat all the way to number 8. And just going back to what Darren mentioned last over, this is good captaincy. A little more defensive against Shubman Gill, and especially from one end, where Greaves is bowling from. Because West Indies have league runs, they're going at 5 on day 2 of this session. Just give themselves a little more control with that 7-2 feel, and then attack with Warrican from the other end.
So Gill long on is in to mid-on, but long off drops back, as indeed does deep cover and deep square. And then pushed it through, just a run of the Warrican over. 4-1-9 for 4. Suddenly the field comes in. 6 fielders in relatively close-in positions.
In and amongst this effort, credit must be given to Jamel Warrican and the way he's gone about things. 3 for 82 at the moment after bowling 27 overs. He's grown in stature to become the leading spinner for the West Indies in this format of the game.
I think it was important for him to do well here because he's got a very good record otherwise against subcontinent teams. He was averaging under 20 against Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Against India, it shot up to high 50s. What's he done now? He's got 3 for 82.
Definitely a wicket-taking bowler. You see him, the lines that he bowls, the length that he bowls. 3 out of the 4 wickets so far in this innings.
Of course, vice captain of this West Indies Test side. And if you followed him this year, you'd know that he returned to T20 cricket back in the Caribbean after a hiatus of about 10 years. And he spoke about how that was very important for him to learn new aspects to his game, for him to be put under pressure by batters trying to attack him. He didn't have the best of seasons for his franchise, but it was a different opportunity after a little bit of a break.
Change his shot at the last minute.
Another reason why we've been advocating for that short pitch delivery.
He has that extra bit of time, gets into really good position.
Batter to come is averaging 82 this year. Just put that in the gap as he beats him for 4. But again, swivel, the control, very nicely played by Jurel. Also only about 130 kilometers an hour, so it's not pushing him too much.
But then he gets into position early, but he has to wait for it. That split second where he's just there, waiting for the ball to come to him and then placing it. Rolling the wrist and getting on top of the bounce. Very, very good technically.
Four, 2, 3 for 4.
Keep walking now. Go on, man. Keep going, boys.
Jamel Warrican
Up in here, boys.
and his output against the different oppositions. Nominated against Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka.
So what is the perception with Jadeja as a batter? Is he still seen as an all-rounder? In his last, 13 innings, he's averaging 82.4. He's got 550s and 200. He scored more runs almost than a top-order batter. You still see him as a bowler who bats in these conditions? Are you seeing him as a bona fide top 6? Would he have batted 6 here if it not, or even 5 if it not been for Nitish Reddy? He's batted 5 fairly frequently for India in these conditions.
Nothing. Hey, you done there. Nice, nice.
Well, in an interview after that first test match, he
Play on the outside.
welcomed the opportunity to bat as high as 5, to give himself more time to spread his innings out, to show his true worth as a batter in test match cricket, and that he's done. He alluded to the fact that he averages over 80.
Don't worry.
He's a genuine batting all-rounder, I think.
Catch it. Boy.
He's 10 short of entering a very elite club.
Boy, keep going up, boy.
4,000 runs and 300 wickets. He's only 10 runs short. Potentially go on to get 5,000 runs and 400 wickets if he lasts that long. Only one player's ever done that.
Catch it.
Only the great Kapil Dev has done that.
Nice,
He's a genuine all-rounder, that's how I see him. An all-rounder who, while batting, is a batter, while bowling is a bowler. He's a genuine all-rounder. So I wouldn't classify him either as a batting all-rounder or a bowling all-rounder.
The reason I bring that up